Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanius here. Welcome to episode number 12 of this NHL 22 Minnesota Wild franchise mode here on my channel. If you guys have missed any episodes up to this point, head up into that top corner of the video right now. There will be a card with a link to the playlist so you can get caught up on every video you have missed. Also, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell to never miss these videos. So, last episode, we got through the entirety of the regular season. It was a bit of a longer episode, but that's okay. So, to look at the comments from last episode, starting it off here, we had a few different comments. First off, talking about, well, Salil commented, wait, what? Nail Yakupov is playing for the Flyers? Yes, he is, because again, we have added players into the game here. So that's why you guys will be seeing certain players that don't normally exist in the game. Yes, Nail Yakupov actually up to an 83. So that's a really decent contract for him. How many points did he score? 53 points. Yakupov is back. That is actually awesome. You love to see it. And yeah, he's playing for the Flyers there. The next comment came from Vishal Nagpal saying, wait, how do you calculate contracts? I think I need to know. I gave Sam Seal a $9.75 million average annual value contract, my save, and you can kind of guess the impact that had. So yeah, you have to use whatever the asking price is, as long as you agree to the player's term, so how long they want the contract, as well as, you know, they're in a decent price range, you can go whatever their price is times 0.085, or sorry, 0.85, so 0.85. So it's 85% calculation essentially on whatever they want. And if you pay them that, usually they're going to take it. I think we paid, what's his name? We paid Trey Weller just a little bit more than that. Yeah, $9 million. I think that's about fair, honestly, for the amount of value he's going to provide. And then, yeah, I mean, we did get some other pretty decent contracts on guys like Marco Rossi and such, who are, you know, cheaper, and they were shorter term deals too, but it was totally worth it. So, finally, the next comment came from Mikey. Again, thank you, Mikey. Your comments are totally helping direct this series, but he said a few things. This team is a juggernaut of a team, and I can't see them not going all the way double negative there this season. But next season, JT has to go, and I think you need to make that bottom six a little bit better. You want to be a hard team to play against, since JT, if you know, is a veteran, and you'd be looking for a veteran presence in the bottom six to try and get chemistry up for the third and fourth lines to a 1 or 2 at least. Great season. Can't wait for the next episode. Keep them coming. Thumbs up. Awesome. So yeah, thank you, Mikey. And yeah, I absolutely agree with all of those moves and comments that he's saying. So next season, like by the end of this year, we are going to want to move JT Miller. That's why I signed him to a 2-year contract, was so he maintains some value. And of course, we do have to sign other players such as Mirat Kuznetsov. We have a decent amount of space still. So he wants a 2-year contract. I think this is an absolutely a prove it to me contract. So he wants $5.425 million. If we times that by 0.08 or 0.85, that's a $4.611 million a year contract. So we're probably going to offer him, I don't know, like 4.625 for the next 2 seasons. He has been an absolutely influential piece on this team, as far as he's been putting up really good numbers, takes a lot of shots, scores a decent amount of goals, and yeah, he's been absolutely contributing over the last 2 years. 113 points in 164 games is really good for a second round pick for this team. And besides that, you know, nobody else is really like an urgent signing that needs to happen here. Like maybe just for Wallstead. But at the same time, he wants a 1-year contract at literally no cost. I think what we're going to do is we're going to offer him like, well, see, we could get him on an extremely cheap deal for 8 years, which makes no sense to me. I would rather sign him for like a 2-year contract at $1.5 million and be like, prove it to me. We need a decent goalie here. And yes, we've got Tristan Jarry, who's played quite well, but we've got this kind of 3-headed monster competition going on right now with the team. So, in the goaltending position anyway. So that is pretty much all we need to handle here right off the bat. Maybe Mason Shaw. I'm sure we could offer him like $1 million and he would take it. And Sundqvist isn't actually that great a fit with the team, unfortunately. He's really top-heavy for his chemistry fit, so we will probably be looking for somebody else in the near future. Jake Neighbors, on the other hand, is a little bit... Yeah, he's quite a bit better for his system fit, so we're going to offer him a new contract. And then apart from that, Eric Stahl for another 2 years is probably not worth it. Sorry, my dog's just walking around the room here. But Eric Stahl probably not worth $1.6 million for the next year or two, as he is 40 years old and probably going to be retiring after this season, as we didn't really play him a lot. Yeah, he only played, he was pretty good in the 9 games that he played. 7 assists, 8 penalty minutes, plus 2. You can't really fault him for that. That's actually pretty solid. But I think that's all we're going to offer for now. Obviously, we got those 2 franchise players that are going to absolutely lead this team in the future, but we've got to get to this series against Dallas now. So, the Dallas Stars made the playoffs as the 21st seed in the league. They were absolutely nowhere near a playoff spot and somehow made it based on how the standings work. So, they got some interesting players here. Labruniere, we were talking about last draft, didn't end up drafting him, and maybe it'll come back to bite us, but I feel like that's unlikely. Jamie Benn is at 35 years old now, so this is definitely a team that's led a bit more by their younger players, such as Gurianov, Robertson, Hintz, and so on. And of course, Heiskanen coming into his prime at 25 years old. They also have Kim Janssen, who I don't know if I entirely agree with playing. They are definitely lacking goaltending, as well as they have 2 backups. So I think this is our series to lose at this point. We should be able to make it through. So looking at the standings, yes, we're taking on Dallas in the first round, but Colorado's the favorite in that San Jose series as they finished top of our division. And I can't actually remember who won the league at this point. I think I have to go back and just double check this to actually see who was the best team available. Colorado was second best. So yeah, Washington is the best out of the whole league for regular season standings. We finished 5th. So Calgary, Edmonton, Colorado, Washington are the only teams ahead of us, which is actually crazy. I didn't think we finished that well, and we totally did. So Colorado, Calgary, Edmonton, yeah. So all the favorites are on the left there. And of course, Washington was the only team that finished higher than us. So, hey, if we have some first round upsets, personally, we could very easily get upset by Dallas still, but at this point, we do need to just take it to them. So here we go. We're into this playoff series, and, well, let's see what we can do. It should be an interesting series, to say the least, but, yeah, my OBS is also lagging like crazy right now. All right, so here we go. We're getting into this Dallas series now, and it should be a good game. So, first period of game 1, we start off strong. Holy crap. Boldy, Michkov, Jagger Foligno and Marcus Foligno all get goals. 17-7 on shots. That is an absolute butt kicking in the first period. So off to a good start. That's exactly what we wanted. Now let's see if we can continue this. Second period, 6-3 game. We allowed 3 goals to start off the second period, but then Jagger Foligno and Michkov both get another goal each there on Fleury. 6-3 game. Third period, make it 7-3 as Kirill Kaprizov gets a goal. But starting it off, Jagger Foligno, 3 points. Kirill Kaprizov, 3 points. Matthew Boldy, 3 points. 2 goals for Jagger Foligno there as well. And I also believe Matvei Michkov had 2 goals as well. He did indeed. 2 assists for Greenway and Rossi. Those guys were also playing absolutely phenomenal. Kuznetsov had 3 points and didn't get a start of the game. Interesting. So, yeah, really great performance to start it off. Foligno is going to be at the top just because he's one of the highest rated players on our team. I don't know why he leads. I guess it'd be goals first. So, anyways, great start. 7-3 win. We get Jake Neighbors to re-sign. We get Mason Shaw to re-sign. Same with Kuznetsov. So that's a big signing there for the next 2 seasons. And same with Jesper Wallstead for the next 2. So we get everybody locked up for short term. And, well, now we're on to game 2. So game 2 of this series. First period, it's a 1-1 game as Matvei Michkov and Cody Glass both get goals. Second period, 3-2 Minnesota lead as we were down 2-1, but then Kalen Addison and Kirill Kaprizov both get goals there. So heading into the third period, Dallas goes on to the power play, and they don't score, so that's good. We're out shooting them. We just got to keep getting shots, and unfortunately Victor Rask ties it up, and then Tobias Reeder makes it a 4-3 game. That was terrible. Make it 5-3 as Victor Rask gets a hat trick. And wow, that was a bit of an upset there as we give up way too many goals way too quickly, make it 6-3, and our defense just falls apart here in game 2. Not the result we were wanting. We wanted to go up 2-0 on home ice, but Victor Rask and Nick Merkley say otherwise. So absolute unlikely heroes there in Dallas, but they get it done. Kirill Kaprizov leads our team with 5 points after 2 games, but that was an absolute upset in game 2 as we had the lead and we give up a bunch of goals. So heading into game 3 now, first period, it's a 2-1 Dallas lead as JT Miller gets us on the board, but then Roope Hintz says otherwise on just 9 shots. That's a bad first period again. All right, second period, 5-2 game. Holy jeez. What a second period for the Minnesota Wild as Marat Kusnedinov, Jagger Foligno, Matt Boldy, and Kirill Kaprizov all get goals. Boldy on the power play there, and we chase Ottinger from the net. So heading into the third period, a 3-goal lead is a big one, but make it a 4-goal lead as Jake Neighbors gets his name on the board there, and that's where we want to be. Power play for the Wild again, doesn't convert this time, but that is all good. Another one for the Wild, doesn't convert again, but that's okay. And 6-2 is exactly where we want to be. We want to be up by 4 goals or more, but that's a great game 3. A good bounce back game from the Wild there. Boldy has 3 points, Kusnedinov, Kaprizov, and Foligno with 2. And Matvei Michkov goes quiet. Doesn't put up a single point. He's a +1, but that's okay. Foligno, Boldy, and Hintz get the 3 stars of the game. And we're up 2-1 now. So looking at the other series here in the first 3 games, Washington is leading 2-1. That's the team we're most interested in. Florida up 3-0. Carolina up 3-0. Toronto up 2-1. Seattle up 2-1 against Edmonton, so that's upsetting right now. Vegas up 2-1 against Calgary, also upsetting. And then Colorado and Minnesota in the position they're kind of supposed to be in. Kirill Kaprizov, though, 7 points in just 3 games. He is absolutely crushing it right now. So here we go into game 4. We want to take a 3-1 stranglehold. First period, make it a 2-2 game as Sagan opens the scoring. Jagger Foligno gets the tying goal. Kusnedinov makes it 2-1, and then Jason Robertson ties it up 2 apiece. 12-11 on shots in the first. Close game, absolutely. Second period, make it a 4-3 Minnesota lead as Magnus Oduya makes it 3-2. 3-3 game from Jason Robertson, and then Matvei Michkov makes it a 4-3 game. Again, very close game, 22-20 on shots heading into the third period. So on the power play, Minnesota doesn't convert. On the power play for Dallas, they don't convert, but then Matthew Boldy scores even strength to make it 5-3. Power play for Dallas, again, doesn't convert. Power play for Minnesota, again, doesn't convert. Lots of power plays back and forth here, but make it a 5-4 game as Dallas gets in striking distance from Denis Gurianov. And then 6-4 Jagger Foligno seals the deal, makes it a 2-goal game, and we will take this one, even though we gave up a late power play, 6-4. Huge performance, and Jason Robertson gets first star of the game. Jagger Foligno with 2 goals, Matthew Boldy with 2 points. That's what we like to see. So we do indeed take a 3-1 stranglehold on this series. Same with Colorado. Looks like Florida sweeps the Bruins, and wow, Pittsburgh, Washington tied up 2-2. Interesting series going on here. How about Jagger Foligno? Over a goal a game, over 2 points per game. He is absolutely performing right now. And so is Matthew Boldy. You really got to like how these guys are playing together. The playoff performance is absolutely outstanding. And I mean, hey, Kirill Kaprizov, 2 points a game as well. He is crushing it right now. You have to absolutely give these guys props. 4 goals in 4 games. Matvei Michkov has been a little quieter than the rest of our team, but he's still getting it done. So that's what we like to see. Only our first line's really a plus. Everybody else has kind of been shaky, to say the best. 0 or negative. So, well, I mean, hey, Dallas is actually putting up a pretty good fight considering that they're the 21st seed in the NHL and probably shouldn't have made the playoffs. But, oh well, you know, it happens. And we have the chance to knock them out in just 5 games here. That would be fantastic. So, first period of Game 5, it's a 1-0 Minnesota lead from Marat Kusnedinov, 9-6 on shots in the first. Second period, make it a 4-1 game, as Denis Gurianov got the first goal. I'm like, Gurianov doesn't play for our team. Of course he doesn't. So then a goal from Marcus. I'm just going to say Marcus and Jagger, I think, at this point. So goal from Marcus, he makes it 2-1, and then Boldy scores, and then Jagger scores. So 4-1 game heading into the third. I think we've got the first round finally solved here as this team just simply outscores the Dallas Stars. Of course, we were eliminated in round 1 2 times in a row over the last 3 years. And of course, that was San Jose and Colorado who beat us. So 2 good teams. San Jose was actually lower ranked than us, but there will be no upset this year in the first round for the Minnesota Wild. That is a very good feeling, especially when we have absolutely invested in this team and tried to make them as competitive as possible. So the Felinos get second and third star of the game there, and a 2-point night for Kuznetsov gets him first star of the game. So the Minnesota Wild move on, and it is an absolutely huge performance in the first round as they walk through the first round with ease in just 5 games. On the other hand, though, Calgary and Edmonton are taking it to at least 6. Washington's going to at least 7. Washington and Edmonton are going to 7 for their series for being top-ranked teams. And Colorado gets through with ease as well, so we will be taking on the Avalanche in the next round. But let's see how the remainder of the series go here, as Toronto goes through in 6, and that's it. We don't have any other series decided yet, so we advance another day. Edmonton makes it through. Washington makes it through. And did Calgary make it? Calgary does make it. We got a Battle of Alberta and a Battle of the Midwest. Okay, this is going to be fun. Washington makes it through, so all the top-ranked teams make it through. Go figure, right? That's kind of just how this season has gone. It's like, okay, we've got a chance to be really good, and then the sim's like, no, everybody that's better than you is still making it through. So, let's see, who else is really good? Toronto, Vegas, Seattle. Columbus is pretty decent. Florida was not expected to do that well. Pittsburgh, New Jersey got bounced pretty quickly. Same with Carolina and Boston and San Jose. So yeah, Florida, Columbus make it through. Edmonton didn't have that easy a series as the Kraken were ranked 8th, and then same with Calgary, as Vegas was ranked really highly too. So, I mean, the fact that they both made it through is slightly a miracle, but also it isn't because it is the playoffs, and the top-ranked team should be able to perform, although it doesn't always happen. So now we head into this series against Colorado, and out of all honesty, I don't know how it's going to go. I mean, Colorado is one of the few teams that we seem to struggle with all year, as they kind of had our number. So, Colorado Avalanche have got an absolute unit of a team here. Their top end is absolutely deep. I think that's the right word to describe them, is their depth is kind of unmatched. And yeah, their depth is extremely unmatched. Look at that defensive core. That is scary. I mean, they don't have goaltending, but who cares when you got a team that good in front of the goalie, right? Like this Colorado team is here for a reason. And they are, without a doubt, the team that we should probably be most worried about at the moment. So, man, this is just, it was a really good first round against Dallas, but I'm not going to get my hopes up against the Avs either, as they were a better team than us throughout the majority of the season. All right, so as we head into round 2, I mean, the Avalanche are going to prove to be a challenge, but we head to Colorado for games 1 and 2 as they have home ice advantage. And first period of game 1, we're up 1-0 as Matvei Michkov continues to score at a goal per game pace for the most part, and that's a great start. We get outshot 12-8, but their goaltending might prove to be their downfall here. All right, second period, 3-2 game, as Claude Giroux and Mikko Rantanen both score on power play goals, so that we were down 2-1. We get a goal from Trey Weller out of all players, and then Kuznetsov gives us a 3-2 lead heading into the third. So, simulating ahead into the third period, make it 4-2 as Trey Weller scores 2 goals in game 1 of round 2. Power play for the Avs. They haven't missed yet. 4-on-3 power play doesn't convert, but then they score on even strength there from Tyson Jost. So not a lot of time left. Make it a 5-3 game as Jagger gets the goal there. That is what we like to see. And when we get completely outshot here, 26, make it 27 as Lambos gets the empty net power play goal. But 6-3 win, we get outshot 40-27. goaltending very well might decide this series, as Trey Weller had 3 points. That's what we like. Oh my goodness, what just happened? Trey Weller scores 3 goals, scores 2 goals and an assist as a defensive defenseman. What a performance in game 1 there. Jagger Foligno also 2 points per game still. He has been absolutely hot to start off the playoffs. So we go up 1-0. Calgary goes up 1-0. Toronto up 1-0 against Florida, and Washington up against Columbus there. So not too many upsets really, apart from the West. So heading into game 2, I would love to take both games on away ice, but first period against Colorado, it's a 0-0 game, 8 apiece in shots. Talk about an even first period. Second period, it's a 1-1 game as Matthew Boldy makes it 1-0 for Minnesota. Ryan Merkley ties it up for Colorado, 1-1 heading into the third period. Power play for the Abs, of course, converts as Mikko Rantanen scores yet another power play marker. He has been critical for them. Make it 3-1 as Morgan Geekie scores. Make it 3-2 as Jagger gets a goal back for Minnesota. Can we get back in this game with 11 minutes left? It's not a lot of time. Minnesota needs another goal, and Tachev makes it a 4-2 game for Colorado as he kind of crushes our hope to win game 2. And we do get outplayed in game 2, losing that one 4-2. We get outshot. Everything goes according to plan for the Avalanche. But if that Mikko Rantanen goal doesn't go in the third period, we might have said otherwise. But tough loss there, 4-2. It's a close game. And Foligno was still 2 points in that game, so that's crazy. But heading into game number 3, we're on home ice. We want to win at least one in front of our fans. And starting it off, we're down 1-0 as O'Connor gets the goal for Colorado. We outshoot them 13-10 in the first, though. Second period, it's a 1-1 game as Magnus Oduya gets the marker for us. And heading into the third period, I mean, Colorado is getting more shots, so they are more likely to score. Power play doesn't convert for them. Power play for Minnesota is a long one and also doesn't convert. That sucks. That's what we wanted to convert on there. But it's a close game here heading into the final minutes of this one. And 2-1, 21 seconds left. Kirill Kaprizov steals the game for the Minnesota Wild. 28 seconds left, but wow, that was unexpected, and that is what we love to see right in front of the net. Colorado gives up the late chance, and Minnesota takes this one out from under their noses as Connor Ingram and Tristan Jarry get first and second star of the game, but Kaprizov is the, pretty likely hero in this one still, but man, that was exciting. Wow, we're up 2-1. So 3-0 in the East for Washington. Toronto, they seem to be the favorites heading into the next round. And Calgary is up 2-1 against Edmonton. So here we go, heading into game number 4 now. Of course, up 2-1, we want to try to control this series. So first period of game 4 is 3-0 for Colorado's Makar, Maltsev, and Newhook all show up in the first. We get outshot 14-5. That's a 9-shot difference. That's brutal. All right. Second period, it's 5-0. This is humiliating now, guys. Come on, seriously, 5-0. You're not going to get a single goal. Thank you, Mason Shaw. Okay, can we get a couple more goals? That's what I'd like to see, but I don't know. I think we're getting pretty humiliated here as it is a 5-1. 5-2, Kuznetsov makes it a little closer. Colorado on the power play. 6-2, Claude Giroux. 6-3, Merritt Kuznetsov. That would have been a closer game if we didn't give up that other goal there, but looks like this one is absolutely Colorado's game to lose, and we have got a close series on our hands as it is a 6-3 win for the Abs in Game 4. Alex Newhook puts up 4 points on the night, so that's a huge performance there for the Colorado center. So Jagger Foligno goes a little cold there over the last 2 games, only putting up 1 point in 2 contests, but we would love to see some scoring get back here from our first line as they were quite quiet in that last game. So heading into game number 4 now? Game number 5? Game number 5, sorry. 2-2 apiece. Washington sweeps the Blue Jackets in round 2. Toronto loses 1 game to Florida at least. And 2-2 apiece in the West. So heading into game number 5, we want to win this game. It is an absolutely critical game. And first period, it's 0-0. We're out shooting them 10-8 after the first. Second period, 3-0 again. Give me a break. Colorado's not a better team than us. I mean, they are, but they aren't. Like, they don't have goaltending. We should be putting more pucks in the net, but their defense is so deep in front of their goalies that it doesn't really matter. So, Claude Giroux scores 2. Mikko Rantanen gets the other one. 3-0 heading into the third. We need a miracle here if we're going to convert. But the fact we're getting shut out by Connor Ingram is a little bit disappointing here. Power play for Colorado doesn't convert. Power play for Minnesota doesn't convert. Claude Giroux gets the hat trick, and we just get absolutely outplayed here. So it's unfortunate. It is what it is, and Colorado is just simply the better team here. We do not score a goal against the Avalanche. That's sad. Okay. 4 assists for Gabriel Landeskog. What a performance. So, yep, our guys went cold at the wrong time here, and I think it's going to require a quick line shuffle. So, what's going to happen is Kaprizov's going to be running on the second line here. Hopefully, he can produce something by himself. We're going to put another goal scorer here with Foligno and Boldy, as hopefully Michkov can, get some goals going, as that's really what we need right now more than anything. We got 2 guys with tape to tape, and what I think we really need at this point is a guy who can shoot. So, all right, a bit of a rough go there to start off this next round here. I mean, rough go, we're still in it. It is a 3-2 series for the other team, but Carson Lambos is actually playing significantly well right now, so we can't really fault him for anything that's going on here. I think, if anything, we're going to move him up. Sexton's been a 0. Has Lambos been better? He's been a +3, so that's interesting. It's actually been, Kalen Addison's been the one who's been on for a lot of goals against, so maybe we try Addison and Chernak. I think that might be better, and then play Sexton and Weller together and get the maximum chemistry boost for now. So yeah, we put the lines in a bit of a blender here. It happens, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to give Jesper Wallstedt the start for this next game too, because Tristan Jarry let in 4 goals and really just didn't do all that well. But, the draft class is also pretty intriguing this upcoming year, so we'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, right now we just need to get a win to continue this series. So we'll swap Wallstedt in. He's going to get the start. I mean, Jarry hasn't been bad, but Jarry hasn't been great either, and he lets in 10 goals over 2 contests. So here we go. Game number 6. We need a big performance from the Wild here today. First period, down 4-1. Boldy opens the scoring, and then Giroux just goes off again, putting in 4 goals along with other Colorado players. 14-10 on shots in the first. Second period, make it 7-1 as Wallstedt just absolutely collapses, and it's not even worth playing. So, unfortunately, we are eliminated in round 2 of the playoffs by the Colorado Avalanche. It's not even close. 9-2. Give me a break. That's just filthy. It's just disgusting. So, way to rub it in, Colorado. 5 points for Claude Giroux. If they don't go on to win the cup, then I don't know what happens. Because, man, when we've got a team this good, that's this strong all around, and we lose like that, that's just, it's not pathetic, it's just disappointing. So, we get knocked out in 6. Calgary gets knocked out in 6. Edmonton, Colorado, pretty predictable Final 4 matchup here. Of course, we would have loved to have been in that top 4, but it's not possible with the stand-ins as we had to match up against better teams. So, looking at the Final 4 teams that are available here, starting it off, it will be, we've seen Colorado. Calgary was, oh my god, they've got Nate McKinnon. Yeah, Calgary should have probably beaten Edmonton, to be honest. Yeah, they probably should have. So that's interesting. Actually, never mind. Edmonton's got a fairly decent team here, too. Stuart Skinner should not be winning games, though, over other guys. They got Dylan Holloway as well. Okay, Holloway is a legit player for them there. And okay, Edmonton, you put Holloway there in that third line. Sure, you got a decent team, but I don't know if the Oilers are actually the better team there. I would argue that they're probably not. Also, why is Connor McDavid not playing center? Interesting. Okay. After that, the Toronto Maple Leafs do make it through as well. And again, pretty expected result there for them. Matthew Nyes not playing terrible for them by any means. Their defense is solid. yeah, it's solid throughout, and Koskinen's probably shaky. So if anything, I would be betting on Washington to make it through to win the cup still. They do just simply, as long as they have goaltending, which they do. I mean, Calgary was actually probably the strongest team in these playoffs as far as depth and all-around kind of team play goes. Nathan Gaucher turns out perfectly fine for the... Of course, Gaucher develops properly in this franchise mode, because why wouldn't he? We didn't pick him, so of course. But no, that's a legit team there in Washington. I've got no problem with them potentially winning the cup. The question I have is, why did we lose to a team that had so much worse goaltending than us? But it happens, right? So, I mean, it's unfortunate, and I think, honestly, that's probably where we're going to wrap it up. It's too bad that we lose here, but, like, what else can you do, really, right? You just come up against a really, really strong Colorado team that doesn't even need Nathan MacKinnon. Like, how are you supposed to beat that? So, simulating through the rest of the month here or so, and Colorado and Washington go to the finals. Very, very predictable finals, but the Washington Capitals do win the Stanley Cup. And the San Jose Barracuda are going to be your Calder Cup champions this year. So, expected results, absolutely, but it's a pretty good season. We make it past round 1. We fall in round 2 to the eventual Western Conference champions. It's not a bad result, but it's also a little disappointing from the quality of team that we had. So, yeah, it happens, and there's not really a whole lot else you can do about it. But I think we're still going to do okay. Obviously, we don't have first or second round picks in this upcoming draft at the moment. So I actually don't know exactly which picks we do have. So, yeah, we've got a couple thirds, couple fourths, couple fifths. So yeah, this should be an interesting draft. We are going to be picking significantly later than usual, but at the same time, there are 1 or 2 players that might be worth trading up for. I mean, the player that just absolutely strikes me as like, okay, this is a can't miss kind of prospect is not Gaborik, actually. It's this guy further down here, Chandler Girard. I know he's a sniper, but he was almost a goal per game in junior. The fact that he only has 2 superstar abilities is a little bit of a question mark for me. But apart from that, like, there aren't so many players that I'm looking at like, okay, we should really be drafting this guy. It's just, there's not that many. So, the guy I am most interested in probably here is actually Gavin Hunt. And Fistrick looks really good too. He's got no contest, so that's actually a solid defenseman. Magnuson is a no-go. Zayunin, we're still waiting on a scouting report from. Nordquist at least is guaranteed top 4. But Jacobson actually looks like a fairly decent power forward too. So, we're all over the place still on some scouting. Doug Sophilis doesn't turn out as well as I hoped. Same with Sadikov. Brown is probably going to be low 6. Guy Bonnet could be good actually if there's some decent potential there. Keep an eye on him at 58. Christian Havlid, I personally don't think is going to turn out too well. Wakabayashi will keep a pin on, and yeah, Byron Grantham maybe. It's possible that he turns out to be decent too, but more than likely a low 6 or low 9 forward. Yarrow Fast is one of the few players that I am still keeping an eye on because, he's a sniper and he's he's a power forward and he's 6'5". So, could be a really good player. Rensfeldt, again, is still up in the air. Albelin could also be one of those really good players, or steals potentially. So, Winquist is actually looking like he might be somewhat decent on Kingston there. So, no X factors, but who cares? Goring, we don't know. Yeah, that's kind of how the draft is looking up to this point. We're keeping an eye on Robidas there. 18 years old, got some X factors probably. Cracknell as well actually looks fairly decent. ranked pretty far down by our scouts, actually, but that's okay. Lalonde, same kind of thing. There's so many guys that are like all over the board here that I don't actually know how they're going to turn out. Calvin Burnett we'll keep an eye on as well, but probably not going to turn out. Lewis Hewitt, not feeling him. Simons turns out to be a medium bottom 6. That's unfortunate. All right. Kartinen, on the other hand, could be pretty decent. So that's where one of our third rounders could land. Kapitanov, I don't know yet. Noakes is probably a no-go. Versus, of course, Lyunin is going to be an elite goalie. That makes sense. I don't know on Luongo. Backus was only marked for X factors, really, so I doubt he turns out. Cameron Card, same kind of story. I doubt he turns out, but you never know. You never know until the draft is actually concluded. So I don't even remember why I had Lebedev. I think it was just for the X factor that I had him pinned. Jody Blair, still waiting on a scouting report for. Jyrki Järvinen, we'll keep an eye on as well. Stallberg, unfortunately, is a bust, but Connor Crane is not. Okay, we will definitely try to draft Connor Crane. Might even take him around early, as he is definitely a low elite. Ruben Foote, interesting player. I don't know if he turns out. Again, less and less players actually scouted in here. Michalski is a huge player. 6'5", 222 pounds. Chouinard, maybe. Unlikely, but maybe. Yeah, there's just not too many other players past that point. So that's kind of what we're looking at for the draft. Sawatsky might not be terrible, but Leon Koch actually looks fairly decent. Same with Torsten Markstrom. Okay. So there are players later on here who could be valuable if we steal them, but that is a big old if. I mean, Koch is at least a, what do you call it? At least a low 6, so that wouldn't be the worst 7th rounder ever. And yeah, we are just going to be picking later for the most part throughout this upcoming draft. Nabokov maybe turns out, but again, we don't know until the draft actually is concluded. So we'll go through the player awards. That's the only other thing left here, really. And then we'll wrap up this episode. But it was a really good season overall. The Washington Capitals go back-to-back on Stanley Cups. They are absolutely one of the strongest teams in the league right now. They obviously win the Presidents. Colorado goes to the conference finals, winning the Clarence Campbell. And, of course, the Eastern Conference champions are Washington yet again. So this year for player awards, Connor McDavid wins the Art Ross, as well as the Hart. Charlie McAvoy wins himself the Norris this year. Sidney Crosby gets the Lady Byng. Jagger Foligno deservedly gets the Calder. The Conn Smythe goes to Nicholas Backstrom this year. Vidic Vanasek gets the Vezina this year. Connor Ingram wins the Jennings. Seriously? That's insane. Okay. Dmitry Samarukov gets the Bill Masterton. Seattle's coach gets the Jack Adams, leading them to an 8th place finish this year. Ryan O'Reilly wins yet another Selke. Connor McDavid wins the Ted Lindsay again. And Matvei Michkov is going to top Ovechkin this year for goal-scoring prowess and the most goals scored in the league. So that is your award winners, and that is the 2024/25 season wrapped up. So anyways, guys, that's where we're going to be wrapping it up. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to go down below, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell to never miss these uploads. And of course, make sure to leave comments to possibly get featured like those last guys. And, well, hopefully next episode goes according to plan and goes well, and we have another successful draft to help build this team in the future. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Etanio signing out, and until next time.